Yeah, it's me, Vinci. Yes, I forgot to tell you. So today we are going to see the video of, can you guess? It's the South Park Street. Yes, cemetery. Yes, so another chilling video coming to you. So please like this video right now and subscribe my channel Paranormal Activities with Angie. So let's start. While sitting in the mall one day, bored of pondering over a plate of saucy drums of heaven, we tried listing out of a probably offbeat places of this unpredictable city. The diaries was an idea of just conceived, and we had about a score of names on the list. The name we saw at the head was that of the South Park Street Cemetery, situated on the Mother Teresa Sarani. Soon one pretty morning, we found ourselves walking down to the Mallika Bazaar from the Park Street. Going past St. Xavier's College, the cemetery falls on the right, almost across the road from the Assembly of God Church Schools. It peeps at you with a baby pink facade on which its name is boldly written. You will also be able to recognize it by the old grey walls that surround it. To enter, you have to fill in a register with your name, the purpose of your visit, and the time. The formalities being completed, we enter and what looked, smelled, and felt like something we had never experienced before. We knew that we were in something different. A first look told us that any knowledge on the thing we beheld was totally unprecedented. Though we did not feel that we have been taken back in time, the place indeed has an old unknown feel to it. What we did feel is that we were in the suburb, maybe, or away from a civilization, not in a cursed but an enchanted land. Here we found what can be aptly called peace. The only elements at play were the breeze whispering in the grand canopy of the huge trees, the shade that cooled the surroundings, and the sound dust walking on the desorio paths strewn with dry leaves. In fact, in the empty graveyards, with nobody to monitor over the visitors, we found ourselves instinctively whispering to each other. 2 minutes back, we had been trending on the busiest footpath in the city among a throng of people over engrossed in the struggle of life, and now we understand that surrounding by the silence of the ancient trees and the dilapidated graves are the most beautiful. The cemetery in the midst of the glamorous and up-to-date office buildings lay uncomplaining like a living mockery. It seemed to whisper over the hurrying passerbys that no matter how hard man tried, from dust he has came, and one day to dust he shall return. Having in the surrealism, we decided to look around at the interestingly constructed graves. Each seemed to tell its separate story. South Park City Cemetery is known for the important dead who sleep here. It is the fact that the English who came to live in the British capital, the British Indian capital, could not suit them to the weather here and invariably fell ill and died. A close look at the grave confirms William Dalrymple's statement in The White of the Mughals that approximately 2 monsoons was the average lifespan of a European in Bengal. With a little help from the cemetery authorities, we could locate few interesting graves. The most important grave in the cemetery was that of Henry Desorio, founder of the Young Bengal movement. The next noteworthy belongs to Sir William Jones, founder of the Asiatic Society. His grave was white and looked new. The Asiatic Society people seemed to take care of it, but it also made it appear out of place. William Jones' tomb was the tallest. The tomb of Charles Stott, Major General of the East India Company, is a temple-like standing with the ordinate edifice on which the Hindu deities are carved. He was known to be fond of Hinduism. The cemetery workers introduced us to Elizabeth Jane Bowell, who had died at the age of 23. She was a stunning beauty of the times and heartthrob of many European men. Today shaped tomb. The most enthralling to me was the spiral opposite shaped writer of Rose Ambler, the lady who inspired the English writer and the poet Walter Savage Launder to compose his famous poem Rose Elmer. Though critics argue about the existence of Rose Elmer and some believe her to be the fictitious character, a figment of Lander's imagination, her grave quite amusingly is found here. It even has lines of Lander at the epitaph. We had read about two graves which we sought for but could not find. One of the graves was the son of Dickens and the other was of William Makepeace Thackeray's father. Another we looked for but could not locate was supposedly the anonymous grave in the cemetery belonging to someone who wanted her to remember as a virtuous mother. Today there lay many graves made anonymous by time. The South Park Street Cemetery is sometimes known to be of the ghostly atmosphere. It is the fact that this place has a queer feeling to it. At times when we were exploring individually, I did feel presence. It should be mentioned that here that the ghost-bearing person and I might have some ghostly premonitions as I was surrounded by graves. The atmosphere too had a deadly calmness to it. There was a point of time when I got absolutely lost among the graves and had a call. I called someone who came and looked for me. Obviously, my fear-stricken state was he pointed out that graves were too old and that shots of dead might also have completed their cycle of existence by now. That is indeed some uniqueness of thought, but trust me, I couldn't think that as presence cannot be calculated but felt. We found graves of strange shapes and carvings. Many were marked with guns and spears signifying the death of warriors. We saw people buried close together below the same tomb, concluded that they have shared the same life. They must have wanted to share at least the same piece of soil in death. There were so many tombs of bathtub kind of structure on the top. When talking to my fellow partner about that, I found myself suggesting that these fellows might have been fond of bathing when they were alive. Okay, so then my fellow diary artist came up with something that was sensible. We said that these tops were made up of to collect rainwater that could keep the soils of the dead cool and calm. We saw the graves of children who had died in very tender age. Hours passed, and we found ourselves still haunting in the cemetery, trying to locate recognizable graves. At last, we found our feet aching, and that was when we refilled the registers with the time we are living at. The time we filled another book with our comments on our visit. We noticed that most of the previous comments were given by foreigners, as the 2 lines would not suffice to contain even a fragment of experience we decided to write something on the maintenance of the cemetery. Walking on the Park Street again, the world felt tangible, and we felt that we were transported back to reality with all the real concerns of timing and work already starting to nag at the back of our heads. One such concern was that hunger, and it struck all of us at sudden. It is amazing that food under all circumstances holds its position at number 2 when it comes to priorities. Thus, from a land of the forgotten past, we walk into the kingdom of worldly lust. So, though there were a number of tombs, they were not placed in orders. Okay, so this was our video, and thank you for watching it. Such a nice story to hear at all. Not at all really, not a haunted, but not a fearing, but a very calm and cool story for the first time. Okay, so thank you. I hope you're enjoying our new videos with new ideas. Thank you so much. Bye. Movies are coming today only. Don't we said that we'll give on Friday, but we can't due to some problem. Today they will come. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.